What's up, guys? This is Kyle from Wax Museum, and today I want to talk to you about a card that I purchased a little over a month ago. This is a 2022 Leaf Trinity. Actually, it's Leaf Trinity Soccer, believe it or not, but a 2022 Leaf Trinity patch auto of Steph Curry, numbered 8 of 8. Now, I think in general, this is just a really nice looking card, and it's really a budget version of a Steph Curry patch auto. I wouldn't be grabbing one normally from Panini. But the reason that I bought this is because I believe the Relic is from the 2015 NBA Finals. So today I'm going to back up a little bit and show you why I believe it's from the finals. And then I'm also going to show you some other Leaf products that I think used this finals worn material as well. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so sometime around 2020, I was browsing eBay and I stumbled across this 2018 Leaf Pearl dual relic auto of Steph Curry and Giannis. And I noticed in the title that the seller claimed it was a finals used logo man. And yeah, I can see that the logo man is gold, but how would they know that it was actually from the NBA Finals? It doesn't say that anywhere on the front. I thought, well, you know what? Let me pull up the back. Maybe it says something about it on the back. You can see it says it's game used, but it doesn't say anything about the finals. Well, there is an interesting third picture attached to this auction where the seller of the item emailed someone at Leaf, and that person at Leaf confirmed that it was in fact from the 2015 NBA Finals. And the seller tried to get a little more clarification. Is it a shirt? Is it jersey? Is it shorts? And the person at Leaf confirmed that it was a shooting shirt that Steph Curry wore. So that got me wondering, if this is finals worn, maybe some of the other Leaf pieces would have to be as well, right? They're going to be using the same relic. So I sought out to see if I could find where Leaf sourced this material from. Hopefully, it was a public auction. And not long after, I stumbled across this Grey Flannel listing from July of 2019. And I know you're worried. You might be thinking, well, 2018 Leaf Pearl would have come before that. No, that product was actually released in 2020. I know it's confusing. But anyway, this Steph Curry finals worn shirt sold in July of 2019 for a little bit over $1,500. And if you look at the bottom of the description, it mentions that the shooting shirt is properly tagged and was presented to us as player worn and shows wear. And also that it was sourced from the locker room. So there are some pictures of this shirt here. You see there's the back, there's the front. It's got some of that finals logo man and some of that script on there. There's the tag as well. So anyway, there's also a picture of him wearing one like it. Now, that's a long sleeve shirt, but there is a picture of Steph Curry wearing a shirt like the one in that listing. Now, I wish there was something about that picture where there were loose threads or there was something that was real distinct that we could use to match a picture of him wearing that to the article that Grey Flannel and eventually Leaf acquired. I haven't been able to find anything, so I can't show that to you today. So if you're in the market for one of these Leaf pieces I'm going to show you here shortly, you just have to keep that in mind and decide if that's enough information for you or instead if you want to hold off. With that being said, I've emailed a little bit with Leaf and they indicated that for a while this shooting shirt was the only Curry material that they had. So in just a moment, I'm going to go through every Leaf product that I believe use this shirt, and I'm going to give you some examples in the process. Okay, so what you see in front of you now is a comprehensive list that I've created of Leaf sets that likely utilize this finals worn Curry shirt. I'm going to go through each one of them individually in a moment here and give you some examples and some pictures from each one. I do want to note, though, that just because a product used the shirt does not mean that all relics in the product came from that shirt. Now, I think most of them have, but I have seen some yellow relics out there as well. I know Leaf acquired a pair of yellow warm-ups later on. So just because something comes before something else chronologically doesn't mean that they were still using that shirt. You really have to look at the type of material and assess that for yourself. I'll give some examples at the end, so let's not worry too much about that right now. Let's start going through these products here. So the first one that I want to talk about is one that I've already talked about a little bit, and that is 2018 Leaf Pearl, which, as I said earlier, was released in 2020. Now, if you look in the top left corner, you'll see the example that I showed you from that eBay listing that has that gold NBA logo man piece on it. Well, the rest of these pieces also have gold pieces that go with them. So you can take a look at those here real quick. There's not a lot of gold on that shirt. You'll see a lot more of the blue show up in cards. So I think it's nice that they use these on a duel, kind of a premium duel with Giannis. And just a side note, that Giannis jersey is not a Milwaukee Bucks jersey. It's from one of his international jerseys. I think I found a source for that. Haven't planned on doing a video, but maybe I will if that's something you guys are interested in. But I digress. Enough about Giannis. Let's keep talking about these Curry shirt relics. The next time that we saw them, well, was also in Leaf Pearl. I don't want to forget about these. There was a set called the Perfect 10 that had 5 relics on the front and 5 relics on the back. And as you can see, most of these had either white or the white and blue pieces. All right, after 2018 Leaf Pearl, we had 2020 Leaf in the Game Used Sports. And here are some different examples of Curry relics that you'll find in that product. In the top left, you've got a trio or a triple relic called Breaking Ankles with Kobe Bryant and Allen Iverson. In the top right, you've got one called Decade versus Decade. And I'm assuming maybe that's 90s versus 2000s. I'm not sure what the thinking was there. I guess technically it could be the 2010s as well. And then in the bottom left, you have one-on-one where we've got Isaiah Thomas and Steph Curry. I like the fact that that has player pictures. I try to stay away from the stuff that pictures the jerseys, but if the relic material is good enough, I'll buy that stuff anyway. And then in the bottom right, you'll see one called the Iconic 8. I like that particular copy that I've shown you here just because it has more of that gold, more of the gold pieces on there. You don't see a lot of those. So like I said, I think that's kind of a special piece if I had to choose one. All right, next up, after 2020 Leaf in the Game Used, we've got 2020 Leaf Superlative. There wasn't a lot in terms of Curry relics in this product, but there was a duel with Allen Iverson. And as you can see here, it's got those pictures as well. So I like that part of it. After that, we had 2021 Leaf Art of Sport, another product that didn't have a lot of Curry relics, but it did have this particular one that had a number of parallels, like all Leaf products. They have tons of parallels. They might all be low numbered, but there's a lot of them. And speaking of which, that is definitely exemplified in this next product, which was 2022 Leaf in the Game Used Sports. And I've got several slides showing you examples of those. I'll run through them real quick. In the top left, we've got a card that's got 6 relics and 6 autos on it. So 3 on the front, 3 on the back. That side with Curry, you see Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson. I think Jason Kidd's on the back. I don't remember. Maybe Mike Bibby as well. So that this side is definitely one that I would prefer. You've got a set called Ringleaders. You've got one called Vignette. You've got one for that's got Erling Haaland and Shohei Ohtani. You've got one that's got Allen Iverson and Tony Parker. And I put that copy up because I do want you to be careful. I think they flipped the Curry and Parker pieces in that specific copy. I haven't seen that in other copies, but that top part is definitely not from that shooting shirt. But I think the bottom piece might be. So I think they just flipped those pieces. And then finally in that bottom right, you've got one called 6 Shooters, which if I had to choose another one, I might go for that one because it's got Reggie Miller on it, but just not a fan of all those jersey mock-ups. Speaking of jersey mock-ups, we've got more of them here. We've got Legendary Locker Room. Then we've got a card that's got a mixture of pictures and mock-ups called the Legendary 200. And then probably the nicest Curry pieces from this product come from the card here on the right. Pretty simple, basic design, but I thought they did a good job with the Photoshop there. There were some more premium ones that I've considered going after. I wanted to grab one of these Adidas pieces because there aren't a lot of those out there. Those two on the left are the Adidas pieces. I never end up grabbing one, though. Thankfully, though, I did grab one of those Currys, as I showed you earlier, in a product called 2022 Leaf Trinity Soccer, which came out in January of 2024. I was confused at first because these started showing up on eBay saying 2022, and I'd never seen them before. But then I finally figured out where they came from. So by this point, there had already been some yellow relics that have come out using pieces from the warm-ups that they acquired. So I was wondering, hey, did they go back and use some of this shooting shirt? So I emailed someone from Leaf, and he confirmed that, yes, these jumbo pieces here that look like the number 30 from that shooting shirt are, in fact, still from that shooting shirt. Now, I keep referencing those yellow pieces. What do those look like, right? So there's a bunch of them out there. I didn't get pictures of every single one of them, but you'll see here's some stuff from 2023 Leaf Trinity, some stuff from the newest Art of Sport. There's stuff from I think that set's called Magnificent. There's one from a newer Leaf Pearl, and so on and so on. I'm not going to go through everyone, like I said. So just be careful. Don't just assume because something is a Leaf relic that don't just assume that it uses that shooting shirt. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you today. I've been wanting to talk about that card for a while now, but I wanted to do it justice and give you everything that went into that purchasing process and why I decided to go after the one that I did. Took me a lot of time to put that together, but I'm glad that I finally did it. Remember, there are new episodes of the audio podcast that come out every Thursday. And as always, thanks for watching.